Hi, maybe you may already know how powerful and important the brain is to us humans to function, but have you ever thought how did it become that important? Like, how can it be that important, right? Well, it is very important because we use our brains in every second that we live, starting in breathing, and especially in more complex cognitive processes like problem solving, language, decision making, and reasoning. Here's a great example.
Guys, doon na budlayan, hindi bala ako.
Flashback.
Ga, ano problema?
Budayan ko ni ma'am sa problem solving.
Amo ni sa method mo kung mag-solve ka sa problem.
End of flashback.
Tudlo. Kapalo ka na sa method.
Okay, sa nga school na biyan ko na may method na ka na balaan bigat na ka.
In this scene, Kaija was asked by Jessa about a math problem. Seeing this problem, Kaija paused and gave it a thought. And within this pause, Kaija's brain scanned all his memories and knowledge in the past, and therefore remembering the solution his teacher taught him in the past, and thus solving the math problem.
Uy, guys, saan tagali mo past project, ta?
I think ng mga third weeks ng January.
Hala, ratakan ka kamaanhaw.
Ano?
Ay, sorry. I mean, wala akong kabalo sinahaw.
Okay.
In this next scene, Manang MJ and Kai was having a conversation understanding each other well, because these are the schemas that the brain is familiar with. Dahili kayo ng dialect. However, when Jessa suddenly blurted a dialect that is unfamiliar with the brain, Manang MJ and Kai isn't able to understand it immediately, resulting them to react in a high tone, which is also the translated response of the brain to show its confusion.
Ay, hala, guys, gabi naman eh. Di man niya punta?
Jess mo po naman niya po, Jess.
Hala, akigan ko ni karon ni tita.
Tuloy pa riyo, tapos okay, gano'n ko ni mama. Baluntan na lang sa manang MJ nga, next time na lang.
Then onto this next scene, Jessa and Kai was given choices by Nang MJ in which they have to decide. In this moment, it is the brain that made them not answer immediately, for it is still processing the pros and cons of this decision. The brain will analyze this information and make the decision depending on what it may analyze is more important.
Lang, next time na lang kami mapag-ilapon.
Ate, sige, uli na lang ba?
Sige na.
Next is this scene where after the brain made a decision rejecting Nang MJ's offer, due to ethical standards, the brain felt the need to make Nang MJ understand the reason behind this decision, and therefore reasoning it out that it is already late and their guardian will surely worry if they don't go home immediately. Aside from this practical example of a common event in everyday life, evidences from brain imaging research and studies did support this idea. An example is how in one of the biological study results of the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences of the United States of America, or PNAS, entitled Neurological Origins of Lifespan Changes to Brain and Cognition, proved that the biology of the brain right from birth is one of the early factors impacting the brain and cognition for the entire life course. Brain imaging results also support this idea, in which during the use of language, the individual's brain, specifically the Broca's area, is the one with most activity, whilst during reasoning and problem solving, which are usually intertwined with each other, lots of the activities are in the cerebral cortex. On the other hand, more activity is shown in the frontal lobe during problem solving. The way majority of the parts of the brain hand in hand help each other to perform cognitive processes is the reason why their jobs tend to overlap and we as humans can function smoothly. All in all, discussing cognition without the involvement of the brain is an impossible task. You can pretty much say that the brain is the bee and these cognitive processes are the honey, which will not exist without the existence of the former. That would be all. Thank you for listening.